Hi, welcome to the holy city of Tzfas, and this is a good Shabbos message. As you can see, it's a little bit cloudy. You feel a little bit like you're in heaven over here. So this week's Torah portion is by Yigash, that Yehuda approached Yosef. Very, very profound lesson from this. One of the most important lessons, if not the most important lesson in life. And that is that it would seem from this week's Torah portion that Yosef is the real, if you want to call it bee's knees, he's the guy in charge. He's the prime minister. And Yehuda needs Yosef, and he needs to kind of be humble and to get his approval. But actually, if you look deeper into the story, which is really a very profound story, it's the attitude that the Jewish people have to have towards the entire world. Yehuda, who in his mind, Yosef was actually a viceroy, Yosef was this prime minister, was not a Jew, he is the one that gets Yosef to do what he wants. And this is a very important principle in life, because the Jews have been a minority amongst nations for thousands of years, and probably in a way always maybe will be. But being a minority doesn't mean any sense of inferiority. In fact, Einstein wanted that the whole world, or at least the major powers of the world, should obviously check nuclear weapons, make sure that they don't proliferate to crazy regimes like North Korea, etc., etc. Certainly to evil that decides that if the world will be up to a horse's knee in blood, Iran, the Shiite religion, then the Messiah will come. And the Democratic Party, anybody that votes for the Democrats is guilty of murder. I don't want to go into a whole bunch of facts about that, but basically from Obama we had the civil war in Syria. He got rid of the U.S. forces in Iraq, which led to ISIS, the heinous evil. He created a civil war in Libya, civil war in Yemen, civil war in Egypt, and of course empowered, gave tremendous amounts of money to Iran, as did Biden. Why? Because the Democrats are the path of least resistance. It works for a little bit of time. Like Churchill said, an appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat it last. Or if I can quote myself, somebody that buries their head in the sand makes it very easy for the terrorists to chop it off. Because the real world is a world that you have to deal with the world. And that's why ultimately Mashiach comes from Yehuda and not Yosef. Yosef is the poster child. This guy's amazing. He like saves Egypt, but everything is perfect about him. Yehuda is the wild one in a way. But in the end of the day, he faces the challenges that exist. He doesn't bury his head in the sand, and he succeeds with God's help. And this is the message of the Jewish people, because the entire mess that we're in, and this is actually a fast day, the 10th of Teves, we've been persecuted for thousands of years. The entire mess that we've always been in and are in to some extent today is only from one thing. It's not being confident. It's not being like Yehuda. There's no reason for some dumb Gentile to tell you, the chosen people, what to do. You are the one that has to tell them what to do. It is your responsibility to tell the world how to behave. The Torah, truth, goodness, kindness, morality, ethics, love, harmony, charity, all of these qualities were given to you, to the Jew. And if you don't step into your light, the world will be dark. It's just that simple. And so the message of this week's Parsha, which the Rebbe teaches us, is that you are literally the descendant of Yehuda. And it's your job not to become enamored with the latest fad. There was a Jew, he actually lived here in Eretz Yisrael, and he said he remembers how his friends in university were so impressed with communism. He says every militant force, secular militant force, always ends up killing Jews. Democratic Party enabled this anti-Semitism. Anti-Israel is just another form of anti-Semitism, which is making Jews all over the world feel unsafe. Ironically, the Republican Party, because the Christians have shifted, generally most of them, to be to be friendly to the Jewish people, friendly to Israel, and they are the party that has values. The bottom line of this whole story is we are the ones that teach values to the world. And if your values do not come from the Torah, you don't have values, because anybody that has real values, as all of human history shows, those values come from Judaism. And so our job is to embrace our Judaism and also embrace our light, because if we are not light, the world will become dark. And the fact is, and we're seeing this in front of our eyes, as the Jews became more secular, the society became more secular, and this tremendous manipulation of the minds through Russian disinformation. All of this stuff is, the Arabs have been putting a lot of money into university, all of this stuff, because those that don't know what they stand for, which can only come from a powerful understanding and belief in God and the Torah, they fall for everything, because it's the path of least resistance. It's expediency is what makes it comfortable at this moment. It doesn't like to fight, because to fight would actually to focus to do something that you're not comfortable doing. Comfort is a great privilege, as well as it's a drug. And people on drugs, they don't like to get off the drugs because they're feeling good. And so the bottom line is, Judah, the tribe of Judah, which we are all part of in this generation, is the correct path. The path that, because God is with me, because the truth is with me, I will say the truth, and the truth will be heard, and the world will change. I won't become, they say, what's the difference between a living and a dead fish? A dead fish swims with the current. A live fish swims against the current. And ultimately, a messianic fish creates a new current. This is our job, and the world really needs you desperately. So now is your time to step into your light and to shine.